Alright guys, so at this point I just went and fetched our hide out of the creek. It's been rinsing out now for 3 or 4 days. Usually in the summer when I do this, I give it a day and it's all rinsed out. It takes no time at all in the warm weather, but I had to chip this out of ice at one point to check on it, so it's been taking a long time. But this hide now feels just like cloth or material. It's got all its stretch back. It's much larger, much more open. It feels really nice. It's got its size back. It's not as swollen. But it's still a bad example because I was so sloppy with that ash. I really stained this hide. If you could see the amount of ash I have on this, it kind of stained the hide. You could definitely, when you're making a lye solution, you could definitely put your ash in the water, let it leach out into the water, and then scoop out all the residue in the bottom. And you wouldn't have so much ash that could potentially stain your hide. But I was a little lazy about the whole thing. But it's okay, I'm going to clean this all up and it'll be really nice. So, don't go by my example, but if you do happen to get a pretty stained hide, know that you could fix it all and it won't be bad. So, alright, so this is a really good point. Now that this hide's been all flushed out, all the mucus has been broken up in this hide, it's a really good point to take your hide, flip it over to the flush side, where there's probably more often than not a lot of mucus, or membrane rather, all over the side. It's kind of like shaggy, hairy substance all over the flush side of the hide. And before I couldn't get that off when I was fleshing this, but now that I removed all the hair, my knife can get a really good bite and take off any membrane that was on here. Also, by doing this, I'm going to clean up a lot of the stain. And that's really what you're seeing. A lot of this ash is mixed with the membrane on this hide. So I'm going to clean this up real nice, or as best I can for now. And that'll get all that membrane off. It's less we have to take off later. It's just easier to do it now that we're on the beam. Alright, so I'm zooming pretty far in. I just want to show you what I'm doing. It's just going to be the old tried and true method of working this on the beam. So we're just trying to get any of this membrane that we can. You can see a spot I already had started. That's a lot whiter than over here is where it's all stained. This hide didn't really have a whole lot on it, but I could definitely clean this up a lot nicer. And now that hair's off, I could really get a good bite and take this staining off and any of this membrane with it. So we're accomplishing several things by doing this. We're getting the membrane off. That's less we have to take off later. And we're also beginning to squeegee this hide out. We're taking out a lot of the moisture. A lot of water's pouring out of this. And that's a good thing because really when I'm all done here, I could take this and start braining it. A lot of the moisture's been wrung out, so it'll accept the brain solution. It'll suck it in. Or what I normally do is I'll get a whole bunch of hides at this point where they're all cleaned up, all the work of preparing the hide for braining has been done at this point. And I'll take it and I'll let it dry out and become rawhide. That way I could store a whole stockpile of hides already prepared, and when it's nice and warm out, come summertime, I have a nice pile of hides that I could brain and make into buckskin. It's really easy to store hides as rawhide. You don't have to worry about them going bad or keeping them in the freezer. You can just wrap them up and they're good forever. So that's what I do a lot of the times. Friday, so that should only take you about 20 minutes. You're only after what the knife will take. You'll see a couple streaks where I can't get, but I got a bulk of the membrane. I cleaned this hide up a little bit better. And so at this point, we can either store our hide or we could brain tan it. And I'm going to show you the tanning process next.